Hey guys, welcome to this video of Manitoba Fishing Adventures. My name is Josh, and today we are talking about my favorite target species in the summer, smallmouth bass. I could talk smallmouth for hours upon hours. I'm gonna try to keep this kind of quick, show you guys some of my favorite baits, my kind of rod setup, different ways, and how I'm fishing these bass in the springtime when the water is a little bit cooler than it is in the summer. So some of the things I've learned over the years that can help you put some more fish in the boat or fishing offshore, bring them on shore. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications for all future videos. And once again in this video, we are going to be giving away whatever is in this rod tube. So you're gonna have to stay tuned to the end of the video to find out what it is and how you can enter to win it. So we're gonna start off talking about some baits that I like to use in the earlier season. The water temperature, usually a little bit colder because it's not quite warm yet. And I like to search for some rocks. So whether it's a rock point, underground boulders, the weeds haven't really grown in quite yet because of the water temperature. So I find I do really well on rock points. So that's usually what I'm targeting. Some of my absolute favorite baits to use that if you haven't used and you want to try smallmouth fishing, I totally recommend. Way back when I started making YouTube videos, this was probably the only bait for a year that me and my buddy Spenny threw for smallmouth. And because we watched so many YouTube videos on it, it was the Jackal cover craws in the 4-inch specifically. I threw these baits for a year solid, caught fish with it. The nice thing with these is they're actually very heavy. So a single bait, you compare this to any other craw, it's naturally quite a bit heavier, so it's gonna sink a little bit quicker than usual. But they come in a lot of different colors, like green pumpkin, watermelon red flake. I like using the black and red earlier in the season. I've always had good luck with it. And then when it gets warmer weather, I like using natural colors like the green pumpkin. But I'm gonna show you how to rig this up right now. So I'm usually Texas rigging it. So it's like with a hook like this. I'm using a 4/0 hook right there. This one's cool. It's got a little like barb at the back, so it helps keep the bait straight and doesn't twist. The more common ones, the EWGs, you'll find these ones. These work just as well, just a little bit of a different style, but this is how you rig them. So I'll start off with this one. So take your craw, go to the head, you're gonna poke it in just a tad, just like that. You're gonna pull it all the way down, and then you're gonna twist it, just like so, right? And now, where this hook point lines with the craw, which is right here, we're gonna stick it through there. So, like this, and there you go. There you have it, right? If you wanna make this weedless, or so if you're catching a lot of weeds later in the season, you push this craw up forward and put it on top of the hook, and now you see the hook is covered by the bait. If not, doesn't matter, you can push it off. Probably a little bit better for hookup ratios. Then you can tie your hook right there. So that was probably my favorite bait. I still use this bait to this day. Because it is nice and heavy, you don't typically have to weight it. It's called a weighted Texas rig. And that you were using like a little bullet weight like that, if you can see it. I don't know if that's focusing or not. Yeah, kind of, sort of. But this would basically just go ahead and you attach it on your line beforehand, and this would slip down and just help keep it down, and when you're casting, give you a little bit more weight, especially in some windier conditions, or if you're flipping docks and you want to sink quick, you can use the bullet weights, and that'll help you get down quicker, and especially with crappy wind, because we tend to get a lot of wind here in Manitoba. All right, next bait. Ned rigging has taken the community by storm. This is the easiest way to catch smallmouth, I kid you not. These are my two favorite colors. These are the Finesse TRDs by Z-Man. Got the Canada craw, it's kind of like a natural green pumpkin with some flake in it. And we got the orange green pumpkin, a little bit of the kind of rusty crayfish action, nice bright orange, adds a little bit of color to it. But these, I don't want to say they're guaranteed, but this is as close to a guaranteed smallmouth as you're gonna get. I'm gonna show you how to rig it up right now. All right, so these Z-Man baits have this thing called the Lazatech in them, which means they are super stretchy and super durable, which also means they float. So when you actually put it on the hook, it's a good idea to wet it because it's gonna help it slide. So, try to hook yourself. You can hook it right through the middle. And come back around, push it right up to the butt. And there it is. Nice, simple, easy, nice little stick bait. And the nice thing with this, because this floats, when you cast this out and it hits the bottom, it's gonna do this and go whoop, and it's gonna sit up, and when you jig it, it's gonna stay up vertical the whole time, which is awesome. And right, if a fish takes it, look, It's not breaking. It's not breaking. The one bait, if you don't get snagged, can last you a whole day. It is awesome. So how I'm usually fishing these is I'm, like I said, on rock points, by boulders, pitching it out, letting it hit bottom, and just popping it off really slow, let it sit, pop it off, real slow, let it sit. And yeah, this bait has caught me a ton of fish. It's caught many anglers, a lot of big fish, small fish, fish in general. So if you're just getting into smallmouth fishing, try Ned rigging, you won't regret it. And kind of a different option if you just want to expand, Z-Man offers like these TRD bugs. They're just a different design. You can use them on the exact same hook and they'll float up. They kind of have like two little stingers at the back, so add a little bit more action in the water if you're fishing current to kind of be doing a little more things. Once again, I love these two colors, the Canada Craw and the green pumpkin orange. They're tough to beat, they catch a lot of fish. So next bait, swim baits, and more swim baits. I love using swim baits earlier in the season because you get to cover lots of water quick. The nice thing with the TRDs and such is they're a little bit more of a finesse presentation, meaning you work them longer, it takes longer, you gotta fish a spot for an extended period of time, versus these. This is a Kitech swim baits. They have a whole bunch of different kinds. Any of these, right? I think this is a Storm 360, this is a Jackal. Any of them will work, but you're casting, retrieving, you're trying to locate the fish. So if you're fishing a new body of water and you just want to see if there's fish in certain areas, you know, if there's smallmouth, largemouth, pike, whatever's in there, you don't know what species are in there, it's never a bad idea to throw on a swim bait. Now how you rig this, super easy. Right to the tip of the nose, push it all the way back and around, right? And then you're gonna push it right up against, and there's your swim bait. Nice and easy. The paddle tail adds a whole bunch of action, so in the water, it'll go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And yeah, I always have one of these bad boys rigged up at least one rod when I want to get to a spot, fish it quick, and I'm covering lots of water in a short period of time. Good old swim bait. And one more, probably the finesse of finesse baits, Senkos. Senkos work really well. I have a love-hate relationship with Senkos because I hate fishing Senkos in any type of wind. Because it's hard to feel it. So there's two types of hooks you use. One like this. This one's got a little weedless, hold on, let me hold this a little better. Little type of weedless head on it too. So this will actually bend down and it'll help stop you from picking up weeds. But this is called a weightless Senko hook. So you're gonna hook this right through the middle, like so. And then when this goes in the water, oh my gosh, it's so slimy. Woo. That's basically how it's gonna sit. So when it's jumping up and down, it's gonna go up and down, up and down, up and down, lots of action. When you cast this out, it takes a lot to sink. It takes a long time, right? So while it's going down, you can kind of just be popping your rod, which will kind of add like a, you know, a butterfly. Wow, I look like a tool. A butterfly type effect, right? But if it's really windy, I like to use hooks like these with a little bit of weight to keep it down. Once again, it's kind of got a little like weedless system in here, but you hook it the same way, right through the middle, like so. Right, and then at least this way, it's gonna help get your bait down a lot quicker and keep it down, so you're not waiting, you're not spending as much time, and you can feel a little better if you're in really windy conditions. So yeah, those are some of my baits I like to use for smallmouth earlier in the year, but I will also use them in the middle of summer too. I really like using, for example, the swim baits earlier in the year, but like the craws, the finesse TRDs, I'll use all year round. I'm gonna show you guys actually how to tie the knots properly on these baits if you're using a braided line. All right, so one more tip. Usually when you're fishing bass, you're fishing by lots of cover, rocks, docks, weeds, yada, 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 stuff that can cut up your line. And the one thing with braided is it's super thin, it's super fine, so it's not that abrasion resistant. So what a lot of people do, including myself, is we'll use a fluorocarbon or a monofilament leader that we attach to the other end of this line, right? Then that way, that leader that we connect is going to take all the beating, all the rock abuse, all the possible pike you're probably going to encounter, and it's also see-through. It's clear versus braided isn't, right? So sometimes fish can get a little spooky when it comes to line, so using a fluoro leader, it's nice and clear, they don't see the line. But usually that's how I start my day, and I get lazy, and then I lose my leader to a snag, and I don't want to do it anymore. So I just go braid to braid, or braid to your lure. Now what you want to do is you can't use your typical trilene knot because your braided is so fine. What ends up happening is it'll just slide and pull right through and it doesn't actually knot up. So you want to use a polymer knot, which I'm going to show you how to do right now. So you take your line and you're just going to fold it in half so you have a little point. And you're going to put that point through your jig. All right, and once it's through, that's how I do it. So I'll put my finger in the middle, one twist around, right? And then this loop here, where you have your finger, you're gonna pull this line through, like this. Now I see you have this big wide open loop. You're gonna put your bait through this loop, and then pull it tight from your main line. Pull your tag end, and then you just created a polymer knot, which is good for braided lines. Boom, just like that. Now you are rock solid. We'll do it one more time. Okay, so line, straight, fold it in half, like so, pinch it. We're gonna put this through our hook, like that. Right? So now what I do is I put my finger in the middle, I wrap around once, and then through my finger hole, I'm gonna pull that end straight through, and then see how it's still the two lines? You open that up and put your bait through that loop, and then you pull from your main line. You're gonna see it's gonna get tight. Pull your tag end, pull your main line, and then you are good. Quick, easy, and you got a knot that will not let you down when that 5-pound smallmouth hits. So there you go. Boom. All right, so video's coming to an end. I didn't really go into rod and reels because there's so many options for different baits and techniques and yada yada yada. So if you have any questions on rod and reels, either comment down below, message me on Instagram, or come see me down at the fishing hole. I'll be more than happy to help you and get you set up catching some fish. Now, the goodness, what we've all been waiting for, I am doing another giveaway. I decided to do one more because the last one went so well for the catfishing one. So, the lucky winner is going to receive a brand new 6.5 foot medium 2-piece Fenwick Elite Tech. You heard that right. This is a $200 rod. It is super versatile, super light, very sensitive. It is one wicked rod. I have a few of these and I love them. And one of you guys is gonna win this. So what you need to do, make sure you're subscribed. Obviously, we need that. Turn on the bell notifications and then leave a comment down below, whether it's your favorite species, your opening target for opening weekend, or your Instagram handle. Either or, someone's gonna walk away with a brand new wicked rod, and I'm gonna give this bad boy away on May 14th, the day before opener. Maybe that way you'll have a brand new rod to go catch some monster fish with. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys learned a thing or two. Stay tuned next episode of Manitoba Fishing Adventures and enter and win yourself a brand new rod. Catch you next time.